Good morning, all.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Switch on your cameras, everybody. So we are on the lesson writing styles. We completed informative writing style in the last class. And today we
Yes,
will
ma'am.
take a look at
Expository writing style.
the narrative style. Narrative style means telling a story. Before I start on with the lesson, what do you understand? Can you define what is a story? If you are given a task to write a story, how would you write it? What is essential to write a story?
First of all, ma'am, topic,
12 था
character.
Yes, hello?
ऐसा थोड़ी होता है।
Keep your microphone muted. This is roll number 170 B2. Okay. What is something which is essential for writing a story?
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, I asked you a question.
Ma'am, first of all, a topic or a message, which message the writer want to convey to the.
A story has a message. Yeah, it can have a message, but what is the most important thing when you start writing a story? Supposing I ask you to write a story, a short story, what would it be and how would it be? And can anyone tell me a short story which you have learned, heard? It can be a story related to facts. It can be a real story. It can be fiction. आप microphone mute करिए. Roll number 152. BCA batch 2. Right. We are left with no other choice but to remove them. Hi, yes. Getting back to my question. What is essential for writing a story? Since we are on the narrative writing style, you need to know something which you already know. You need to brush up some skill which you already know. Like anybody can tell me a story. It can be a short story. It can be a fiction. It can be based on facts. It can be a story which can be imaginary. Can anyone narrate a story?
Ma'am, may I read the story?
Yeah.
Ma'am, the story name is The Tiger King, written by Kalki.
1 minute. This is 102, Lovely
Yes.
Kumari, BCA batch 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Just hold on a second, hold on.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah. The rest of you, please keep your microphone muted. Why do I need to repeat this again? I don't know. Yeah, start.
Okay, ma'am. The Maharaja of Pratibandpuram is the hero of this story. He may be identified as His Highness Jamedar General, Khilidar Major,
First of all, what is the title of the story?
the Tiger King.
The Tiger King.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, fine.
Satyagraha Samari, Maharaja Dhiraj Vishwa Bhuvana Samrat Sir Jilani Jung Jung Bahadur, Mad ACCTC or CRCK, but his name is often shortened to the Tiger King. I have come forward to tell you why he came to be known as the Tiger King. I have no intention of pretending to advance only to end in a strategic withdrawal. Even that threat of a Sutka bomber will not throw me off attack. The Sutka, if it likes, can beat a hasty retreat from my story. Camera on, bol. Right at the start, it is imperative to disclose a matter of vital importance about the Tiger King. Everyone who reads him will experience the natural desire about the Tiger King. Everyone who reads of him will experience the natural desire to meet a man of his indomitable courage face to face, but there is no chance of its fulfillment. As Bharatya Sala 2 drama about Dasrath, the Tiger King has reached the final abode of all living creatures. In words of Tiger King is dead. The manner of his death is a matter of extraordinary interest. It can be revealed only at the end of the tale. The most fantastic aspect of his demise was that as soon he was born, astrologers had foretold that one day the Tiger King would actually have to die. The child will grow up to become the warrior of the warriors, hero of the heroes, champion of the champions. But they bit their lips and swallowed hard. What compelled to continue? The astrologers came out with it. There is a secret which should not be revealed at all, and yet we are forced to speak about. The child was born under this star, will only day have to meet his death. At that very moment, a great miracle took place. As astonishing praise emerged from the lips of the 10-day-old Jilani Jung Balidar, O wise prophets. Everyone stood transfixed in stupefaction. They stood, looked wildly at each other and blinked. O wise prophets! It was I who spoke. This time, there were no grounds for doubt. It was the infant born just 10 days ago who had initiated the word so clearly. The chief astrologer took off his spectacles and gazed intently at the baby. All those who are born will only one day have to die. We don't need your prediction to know that. There would be some sense if Inut could tell us the manner of that date. The royal infant uttered these words in his little squeaky voice. The chief astrologer placed his finger on his nose in wonder. A baby, barely 10 days old, opened its lips in speech. Not only that, it also raised intelligent questions, incredible, rather like the bulletins issued by the War Office than facts. The chief astrologer took his finger off his nose and fixed his eye upon the little prince. The prince was born in the hour of the bull. The bull and the tigers are enemies, therefore death comes from the tiger, he explained. You may think that the crown prince Jung Bahadur was thrown into a quack when he heard the word tiger. That was exactly what did not happen. As soon as he heard it pronounced, the crown prince gave a deep growl, terrifying words emerged from his lips. Let tiger beware. This account is not only a rumor right in Pratibandpuram, but will hindsight we may conclude it was based on some truth. Crown Prince Jung Bahadur grew taller and stronger day by day. No other miracle marked his childhood's days apart from the event already described. The boy drank the milk of an English cow, was brought by an English nanny, tutored in English by an Englishman, saw nothing but English films exactly as the Crown Prince, all the other Indian states did. When he came of his ages as 20, the state which had been with the court of wards until then came to in his hands. But everyone in the kingdom remembered the astrologer predictions. Many continued to discuss the matter. Slowly it came to the Maharaja ears. There were innumerable forests in the Pratibandpuram state. They had tigers in them. The Maharaja knew the old saying, you may kill even a cow in self-defense. There could certainly be no objection to kill tigers in self-defense. The Maharaja stated out on a tiger hunt. The Maharaja was thrilled beyond measure when he killed the first tiger. He sent for the state astrologer and showed him the dead beast. What do you say now? He demanded. Your Majesty may kill 99 tigers in exactly the same manner. But the astrologer drawled. But what? Speak without fear. But you must be careful with the 100 tiger. What if the 100 tiger was also killed? Then I will tear up all my books on astrology, set fire to them, and I shall cut off my tuft, crop my hair shorts, and become an insurance agent. The astrologer finished on an incoherent note. From that day onwards, it was the celebration time for all the tigers inhabiting Pratibandpuram. The state banned tiger hunting by anyone except the Maharaja. A proclamation was issued to the effect that if anyone dared to feeling so much as a stone at a tiger, all his wealth and property would be confiscated. The Maharaja vowed he would attend to all other matters only after killing the 100 tigers. Initially, the king seemed well set to realize his ambition. Note that he faced no danger. There were times when his bullet misses. It marks the tiger leaped upon him and he fought the beast with his bare hands. Each time it was the Maharaja who won. At another time, he was in danger of losing his throne. A high-ranking British officer visited Pratibandpuram. He was fond of hunting tigers and fonder of being photographed with the tigers he had shot. As usual, he wished to hunt tigers in Pratibandpuram, but the Maharaja was firm in his resolve. He refused permission. I can recognize any other hunt. You may go on a boat hunt. You may conduct a mouse hunt. We are ready
All
for
right,
the
lovely Kumari. Can you
ma'am.
conclude the story? Your story is a bit too long. Yeah,
Yes,
it is an interesting story, but can you conclude it? No, what I wanted was that okay, fine, you were reading out from the.
The
But
story
can
is
you?
and the tiger was a wood tiger who killed
Yeah.
killed the king. That's the story.
Fine. Then the old tiger finally, the prediction came out true, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, can you tell me what was the plot, the theme? What was the theme? What was the plot? Who were the characters? Tell me.
Ma'am, the main character was the king of the Pratibandpuram. And,
Okay. How many characters were there?
घरे आ जाओ कहीं लेकर बाबा अम्मी बाबूजी से
1 minute.
अब तो रिकॉर्डिंग होगा रिकॉर्डिंग करके सुना देता
Just hold on.
From batch 2.
see that.
But this is really very bad. If you cannot behave yourself, you should stay out of the class. He's not even listening. No, he's not there. So I don't have any other choice. But yeah, okay. So lovely Kumari. There was a story. In the story, there was a plot. Isn't it? There was a plot.
Yes, ma'am.
There were characters. There was the beginning. There was the problem.
Okay.
There was a solution. There were dialogues. And there was an ending, isn't it? So stories are comprised of theme, plot, characters, the beginning, the problem, the solutions of the problem, and then finally the ending part. What Lovely was reading out from which we came to know that it was a story, and this is called in business writing style. This is called the narrative style. So narrative style is one style wherein we are all very good at. We all tell stories, whether it's our own story, somebody else's story. It can be a true story. It can be a story from your childhood memories. It can be a fairy tale. It can be just about anything. It can be fiction. It can be an anecdote. It means real life experience. So that was good. So now you know that the stories have plot, stories have characters, stories have a beginning, stories have the problem, stories have solutions, it has dialogues, and it has an ending. Yeah, after the session, after today's session, like of course I'll be explaining in the technical details about narrating style. You will be asked to make presentations on, and this time let it be like a competition, the best story. I do not want you to read it out from a storybook. I would like you to narrate the story in your own words, but you have to capture everything: the plot, the characters, the dialogues, the problems, the solutions, and the ending. Let it be a competition. Communication Fest will be beginning soon. And we are all about speaking English in the campus. The best way to learn English, the best way to help yourself is to start speaking. Like, what is required to speak English? Can anyone answer this question before we proceed to the lesson? What is required to speak English?
Only topic, ma'am.
Topic chahiye. I want to listen to responses. I would like you to come up with your solutions. Ujjwal ने कहा कि English बोलने के लिए topic चाहिए. ठीक है? Noted. Yes. What is required to speak English? No charts.
Confidence, ma'am.
Okay, you need confidence to speak English. Okay, I'm noting down your suggestions. So somebody said, Ujjwal said a topic, and then Lovely said confidence. Yes, what else?
Ma'am, fluency.
Okay, fluency. What else? Topic, confidence, fluency. Yes.
प्रैक्टिस मैम
हाँ, बोल तो रहे हो लेकिन कैमरा ऑफ करके बोल रहे हो, तो जो भी मार्क्स मिलना है वो तो नहीं मिलेगा ना. When you are speaking to me, you're not speaking to me, you're speaking to, it's a public forum. You are speaking, this is public speaking. And how can you speak with the camera switched off? I just do not understand. Why can't you understand this?
Pronunciation.
Grammar.
Pronunciation है या pronunciation है? पहले इसको तो सही बोलो.
Yes.
It is pronunciation. Pronoun कहाँ से ले आते हैं तुम लोग इसमें? Pronunciation.
we need a good confidence level.
Okay, confidence level already given. वो word मिल चुका है मेरे पास.
Practice मैम
Practice भी हो चुका है.
I think, ma'am, we should have desire to speak English. If we don't have desire to speak English,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
English बोलने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए sir? What is one thing which is required?
First listen English, then speak English.
इंग्लिश आना चाहिए.
Word knowledge, ma'am.
English आना चाहिए. English बोलने के लिए English आना चाहिए. और क्या? Yes.
Word knowledge.
इंग्लिश पढ़ने के लिए BCD आना चाहिए.
मुझे जो चाहिए वो वर्ड नहीं आ रहा है.
लिसनिंग मैम.
Listening.
बोलने के लिए सुनना चाहिए.
सुनना तो सुनना भी चाहिए. ठीक है. Fine.
Ma'am, vocabulary.
understanding power.
प्रैक्टिस.
मैम somebody मतलब किसी का रहना चाहिए बोलने के लिए.
मैम speaking.
हाँ, कोई नहीं है तो हम खुद से भी बात कर सकते हैं ना. What about intrapersonal communication? You talk to yourself. So even when you're talking to yourself, why can't it be in English?
मैम ग्रामर भी आना चाहिए.
ग्रामर तो आने ही चाहिए. टेक्निकल ठीक है. ठीक है. आप मेरा जो रिस्पांस हम चाह रहे हैं वो नहीं आ रहा है.
Ma'am,
That word is not coming. The word is.
I'm a good listener चाहिए.
You have to understand what they are saying.
आना नहीं. किसी को कोई इलिसिट नहीं कर रहा. इंग्लिश बोलने के लिए एक ही चीज चाहिए. To speak English, there's just one thing. Speak it. बात कर. खुश रहने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए? खुश रहिए. इंग्लिश बोलने के लिए क्या चाहिए? इंग्लिश बोलिए और क्या? Nothing else.
खुश रहने के लिए पैसा चाहिए मैम.
पैसा खुश रहने के लिए बस खुश रहिए. पैसा मनी कैनॉट बाय. आप लोगों ने एक डिबेट किया था BCA बैच 1.
मैम BCA
Money is important. Happiness is important.
Money can't buy happiness.
Money can buy happiness.
Yeah. There was a debate and a very good debate, which was an extempore debate for BCA batch 1. Money cannot buy happiness, and that was very well presented. So, anyways, English बोलने के लिए एक ही चीज चाहिए. बोलिए English. Speak. Forget about pronunciation सही नहीं है. Who cares? Nobody is going to beat you. नहीं तुम गलत बोल रहे हो, तुम पीटो पकड़ के इसको. तुम grammar गलत बोल रहे हो. So what? You're learning. And remember one thing, English is not your first language. English हम लोग सीख रहे हैं. अब कितने foreigners अच्छी हिंदी बोलते हैं? नहीं बोलते वो लोग. उनकी चीज ही नहीं है. तो why are we bothered कि हम मेरी चीज नहीं फिर भी हम बोलने में डर रहे हैं? वो तो हिंदी बोलने वाले नहीं डरते, वो हिंदी बोलते ही नहीं. They don't speak Hindi because they do not know Hindi. But the amount of English Indians speak, that is tremendous. तो हिंदी वो गलत बोलते हैं, आपको डर नहीं लगता है. You're not confident about your pronunciation. You're not aware about the grammatical errors जो कि आप बोलते हैं हिंदी बोलते वक्त भी. तो वो आपको प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वो आपकी मातृभाषा है, लेकिन फिर भी आपको इश्यूज नहीं है. You do not have any concern. लेकिन जो चीज जो आपकी मदर टंग है नहीं, जो कि सेकेंड लैंग्वेज इंडियंस के लिए है, इंग्लिश एज अ सेकेंड लैंग्वेज, वो बोलने में आप डरते हैं. अपनी चीज के बारे में यू आर नेवर अफ्रेड ऑफ स्पीकिंग रॉन्ग प्रोनाउंसिएशन. यू आर नॉट अफ्रेड ऑफ फ्लुएंसी. यू आर नॉट अफ्रेड ऑफ एनीथिंग. आप अटक पटक के बोल रहे हैं हिंदी. यू आर नॉट बॉदर्ड. आप ट्विस्ट करके बोलते हैं हिंदी को. यू आर पुटिंग इन लॉट ऑफ स्लैंग इन हिंदी. But that doesn't matter to you. But when it's about English, you get so conscious. So forget it, no? You have to, one thing, if you want to speak English, start speaking English. Speak English, but that's it.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Everybody says that please speak English, but nobody is speaking English in school, in our college. But
Okay.
everybody suggests
Okay.
please try to speak in English.
Okay, that's a good concern which you have put up with. So speak English as far as possible. It will not happen over. देखिए, ये एक habit है, and habits, old habits die hard. Habits आपको हिंदी में बात करने की. अब suddenly you cannot switch to another language.
To whom we will talk in English?
To your friends. You need it. Your friends need it.
Ma'am,
Your
can I
classmates need it. Your teachers are there. Speak to them.
Teacher itself is speaking Hindi.
No.
Then how can I speak in English?
Okay, then you speak to me in English.
Yes.
Create a communication club. Create a communication club.
Yes.
Do
ma'am.
activities in the class. I've already introduced you. I have already introduced the Friday and Saturday activity clubs. For you, it's going to be again the Saturday activity club. So what I would suggest is you can start right away. Now is the time. Wherever possible, try speaking English. Because English, I'm telling you, it's just a habit. और कुछ नहीं है, सिर्फ एक habit है.
But in English class, you should, ma'am, restrict Hindi. That in English class, nobody is allowed to speak in Hindi.
Yeah, that is very good. I like this suggestion that nobody should speak Hindi. You should speak English as far as possible, right? Now let us get on to the lesson. Narrative style, you already heard a story, and what all technically you need to understand what is narrating style. Sharing the content with you. And you all will come up with your own stories. I do not want any example. I do not want any cut, copy, paste. I would not like you to read out stories from any book. But yes, I would appreciate if you can come up with a story in your own words without the help of any content. Speak, tell a story. It can be your own story. It can be a story from the movie you've seen. It can be a story from any book which you have read. It can be just about anything. But yes, no reading it out. Telling and reading makes a difference. Are you telling a story or are you reading a story? So expository explains, and yeah, narrative writing checklist. Narrative style always has a beginning. What are the components of narrative writing style? What do you understand by narrative writing? What are the 4 writing styles in business English? How is narrative writing different from expository writing? When there's a need for you to explain and narrate, when there's a need for you to explain, give an explanation, which writing style would you choose? इस तरह के क्वेश्चंस हैं जिसको आपको आंसर करना होगा. But first, let us take a look at narrative style, which has a beginning and a middle and an ending. When we are saying it has a beginning, it means you need to say this. I have included a hook to grab readers' attention. It means your topic should be as such to create, it should be attractive so that it attracts the reader's attention. Like the story, the name, the Tiger King. Yes, it arouses an interest. It is attractive. And the Tiger King, what's it all about? So topic ऐसा होना चाहिए जो कि reader को attractive लगे. It can be so that it grabs the attention of the reader and your story is read by one and all. And then the second is you will have to describe the setting. What is the setting about? Now, what was the setting about this Tiger King? क्या setting था? कहाँ ये हो रहा है? Where it is happening? And then I have introduced story characters. And then who are the characters? Like there's a story of Merchant of Venice. The Merchant of Venice, right? This is the topic. You would all like to know what is the story about? What is so unique about the Merchant of Venice so that they have written a story? So the setting is placed in Venice. Characters, कौन characters है उसमें? There's a money lender whose name is Shylock. There's a person whose name is a middle-aged person whose name is Antonio. And there's a person, a young chap whose name is Bassanio. And there's a beautiful girl, her name is Portia. So these are the characters, no? When you go to see any film, any movie, the first thing which you do is you find out the characters. Who are the people playing in the lead? So characters is important. So this is the beginning part. The topic of the story, the setting of the story, and the characters. The middle part includes emotions. I have used the 5 senses to create atmosphere. It means what you see. The reader is going to understand something on the basis of what you have written and create an image.
Why do you think that people in Azerbaijan do not have free media and opposition?
Because this is what I'm told by independent sources in this country.
Which independent sources?
Many independent sources.
Tell me which.
I certainly couldn't name sources.
Oh, if you couldn't name that,
What is happening?
You're just inventing.
Navneet has started speaking English.
Lovely, you unmute yourself and tell me what is happening.
I'm not unmuted myself and I'm not saying.
What is happening?
Ma'am, it's Navneet.
Ma'am, not Lovely, it's Navneet.
Navneet Raj, ma'am.
मैम नवनीत
Navneet Kaur.
162 wrong.
नवनीत आप ऑन करके बताइए, अपना कैमरा ऑन करके बताइए what is happening.
Sorry, ma'am, by mistake, my mic was unmuted.
Don't you think you need to switch on your camera? Otherwise, I'm very sorry. You can spend your time in the class, but the attendance will not be given. जिनके भी camera switched on नहीं है, attendance will not be given. ठीक है? Education, I cannot deny anybody, but then yes, attendance will not be given. So the middle part, what is the observation, what is seen, what is heard, what is felt, all you include the 5 senses. And then include actions, what happened. And introduce the problem or the event. Action, what happened? Like one day, there was a person in the village, a farmer in the village, and his wife and his son. Everything was going very well until one day something happened. अब क्या हुआ? ये action आ गया यहाँ पे. सब कुछ ठीक चल रहा था, अचानक से एक दिन क्या हुआ? Suddenly the child said, I do not want to go to school. मुझे school नहीं जाना. I don't want to go to school. So this was the action. What was the action? The action was that. So what was the observation? The 5 senses. So there was a farmer. He was very hardworking, and he was taking good care of his family. The life was going smooth. People were hardworking in the village. He was friendly. He used to meet everybody. He was a polite person. And then suddenly what happened? Then talk about his wife, talk about his child. So everything was going well until one day. कुछ भी हो सकता है. The child did not want to go to school. One day the farmer could not get up from his bed. कुछ भी action हो सकता है ना, any action. And I have introduced a problem or the event. So what was the problem? What had happened? Introduce the problem. Ending. I have checked my spelling. Okay. Ending is, I have tried to resolve the problem. So this was the problem. The child did not want to go to school. The action was the bus came and the bus left without the child going. बस आके चली गई और एक्शन क्या था? वो स्कूल नहीं गया. This was the action. What was the problem? And this was the problem. So they had to find out what happened, why he did not want to go to school. He was a person who always wanted, who loved school. But ऐसा क्या हो गया कि आज स्कूल नहीं जा रहा. So resolving the problem. Ending. Problem second में ही आ जाता है. And ending के पहले the problem has a solution. In any story, the problem is always solved. Solution सामने आ जाता है. The bad man got enough. The good man gets away with everything he wants to, and the bad man is put behind bars. तो होता है. जो खलनायक होता है, जो villain होता है, he always gets bashed up in the end. The problem होता है, he created problem in the movie, and the end, he got the punishment. Problem, solutions, it has got to be there in the story. So I have tried to resolve the problem. I have used powerful verbs and adjectives. Of course, without describing it, there cannot be any story. You're describing an event, and in the narrative style, you cannot write a story without describing it. So you can include descriptive style and narrative style by using powerful words and adjectives. And then there has got to be some dialogues which you will be including. I am left with no other choice. Now, if you want to ask any question, you may raise your hands. So you have included dialogues. What are dialogues? So in the morning, the little child was crying. So the mother asked him, why don't you get up? Why are you crying? So the boy said, I do not want to go to school. Dialogue, right? Creating a dialogue. The fourth part is the editing. Now you have done the middle, the beginning, the middle, and the ending. And then, yes, Abhishek.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I cannot understand how we use 5 senses to create atmosphere in the previous middle
Five
part.
senses मतलब उसने क्या देखा, क्या सुना, क्या फील किया. 5 senses. स्टोरी में होता है ना, कैरेक्टर्स कुछ देखते हैं, कुछ समझते हैं, कुछ बोलते हैं, कुछ फील करते हैं, कुछ टच करते हैं, कुछ सुनते हैं.
तो मींस जो सारे सेंसेस हमने मतलब महसूस किया वो
आपको,
सबको
हाँ, आपने क्या, आप लिख रहे हैं तो you are creating, no? One day he saw that his child was not getting up. The mother came and touched him and saw that he had fever.
And when in beginning part, I cannot understand how I have described my settings. Means what?
Were you not there in the class? जैसे मैंने example दिया था, a story about merchant of Venice. Okay. इसका subject क्या है? The merchant of Venice. When Venus का व्यापारी. So what was the story about? A very famous story by William Shakespeare. And he has described the setting. Setting क्या है? This story is taking place in Venice. So what is happening? The setting क्या है वहाँ पे? कहाँ ये हो रहा है ये? इस मैंने कहा उस farmer के बारे में. So this farmer, setting कहाँ है? In a village. In a village there was a farmer who lived with his family. Setting वो होता है. You're describing the environment. Where is this happening?
Ma'am, can we consider setting as a situation?
हाँ, place ये कहाँ ऊपर हो रहा है? आप कोई कहानी में देखते हो ना, कोई फिल्म देखते हो, they show you Mumbai, Maharashtra, they show Bihar. बताना चाहते हैं कि ये कहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है? So this is very important, the setting.
Yeah. Okay.
And finally, the editing. Before you publish it, before you start to narrate it, before you publish, before you start speaking, before you start making a presentation, you need to check your spellings and punctuations. So when you're writing, of course, that is very important because this will be read by a lot of people. And in today's world, I see students are not taking care of punctuations, the comma, the colon, the semicolon, the inverted commas. So you have to take care of about that. Punctuations are important. And I have used a thesaurus to find synonyms. And for better words, repetitions के लिए आपको avoid करना है. You cannot write, the farmer was a very happy man. He always found happiness in small things of life. तो आपको happiness के बदले he was blissful, he was on cloud 9. Always के बदले he was 24/7, round the clock. Thesaurus is a dictionary where you will find synonyms. So repetitions are not good. Change words. Right? And I have checked my story. And I have checked that this story makes sense. The reader will justify. Yeah, ऐसा हो सकता है, ऐसा हुआ होगा. कोई बेतुकी स्टोरी नहीं है, सिर पैर इसका है, इसकी पूरी स्ट्रक्चर है. It has a face, it has a body, it makes sense. तभी कोई स्टोरी पढ़ेगा आपका, otherwise it will go to the trash. So narrative style tells a story, real or fictional. Means it can be a real story. Fictional का मतलब क्या होता है मैं बताऊं? Fictional. Fiction, not real, unreal, untrue. Whether or not the events described really happened, कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि something which did not happen, you cannot tell a story. You can tell a story about an event, which actually happened. This type of writing is all about presenting the story in a way that readers will enjoy and understand. So your story has got to be entertaining. They will enjoy only if they understand, only if it has a face, right? The events don't have to happen in chronological order, but they must capture and hold the reader's attention. कोई जरूरी नहीं कि प्रोसेस राइटिंग नहीं है कि आपको एक्सपोजिटरी राइटिंग स्टाइल नहीं कर रहे हैं कि पहले क्या करना है बाद में क्या करना है कि नहीं, लास्ट फर्स्ट भी कर सकते हैं. You can start a story with a dialogue to make it interesting. You can start about just to create, arouse interest in the story, in the reader. You can choose any style, but you can start with a dialogue, you can start with the setting, you can start with a name. Anything which attracts the reader's attention. Types of narrating style. Narrative writing can take many forms. It can be your own story, such as a memoir, a personal essay, something, my best days, my school life, a story. It can be a story. It can be a personal essay. It can also be the story of a historical event or a work of fiction. You can write the story about Taj Mahal, an historical event. Or Akbar, kahani to hai. Real story. It happened in history. You can recreate. It can be a work of fiction. It means something which did not happen from your imagination, such as a short story or a novel. Now, the types of narrative style include anecdotes. Anecdotes का मतलब होता है a short, interesting story about a real person or event. Any कोई वाक्या, कोई interesting happening about a real person, somebody who you already know. Can be any celebrity, can be anybody in your family. It can be just about anybody. A short, interesting story about a real person or an event. क्या कहते हैं इसको? Anecdote. कोई वाक्या जो घटा हुआ किसी के साथ हुआ है, कोई इवेंट जो कभी आपने देखा, इंटरेस्टिंग आपको बताने का मन कर रहा है, इतना इंटरेस्टिंग that you can write a story about it. It can be novellas, a short novel. Novellas का मतलब होता है a short novel. Novel जो कि novel more or less बहुत बड़ा होता है. It can be maybe a thick fat novel. So a short novel is called novella, or a very long story. बहुत लंबी सी बड़ी सी कहानी novellas हो जाता है. It is a story, but it is grouped under novellas. So novellas क्या हुआ? बहुत छोटी सी short novel और लंबी सी कोई कहानी. हाँ या क्या भारती?
Memoir means
something which happened. Memoir. It can be your story. अगर तुमको हम कहेंगे कि स्कूल लाइफ में कहानी लिखो, तो एक लड़की थी, there was a girl, she used to go to the school, so what happened, beginning, middle, ending. Personal ऐसे हो गए तुम्हारा personal memoir. You can change your name. It can be a fiction faction. It means fiction है लेकिन आपने नाम बदल दिया है, किसी और का नाम ले लिया. ठीक है? It can be, yeah, novella is a short novel or a long short story. Novels, oral history, heard or interviewed. Now, what is oral history? जो तुमने सुना है कभी, पढ़ा नहीं है, तुमने सुना है, देखा है, टीवी पे देखा है, किसी और से सुना है, किसी और से सुना है, अपने नेबर से सुना है, अपने पेरेंट्स से सुना है, अपने ग्रैंडफादर से सुना है. Oral history, you can recreate, you can write that. Or poems tell a story. जितनी भी कविताएं होती है सब एक कहानी कहती है. But the format is different. A poem is a poem. कविता होती है, कहानी होती है. जैसे उर्दू में नज्म होता है. अब नज्म क्या है? नज्म is not a ghazal. Nazm is a kind of a story which starts with one word and it ends with the same word, and in between the whole story is given. तो नज्म अलग है, गजल अलग है, स्टोरी कहानियां अलग है. उसी तरह से poems also tell you a story. They can be ballads, they can be poems which tell you the entire story, but in a poetic way. I think short stories तो ही है. All short stories come under narrative writing style. Yeah.
मैम रोल नंबर 60 उज्जवल का लीव हो गया मैम, उसको एंट्री दे दीजिए प्लीज.
No, there's nobody in the waiting room. Okay. So the examples, you have to come up with examples. What is your example of narrative writing style? You can come up with any story. You can come up with your own story, somebody else's story. It can be an anecdote. It can be a story which you have heard. कुछ भी कहीं से भी हो सकता है, लेकिन it has to be a story. Do not read somebody else's story. Even if it's somebody else's, but I want you to speak it out. Let it be a competition, storytelling competition. And you're going to get marks for it also. So time is right for you to start a search. Let me see who comes up with the best story. Yeah, any question? Any question? I need to unmute all of you. Yeah.
मैम स्टोरी कितना बड़ा होना चाहिए?
आप नोवेलास के बारे में बात करें. It is going to be a long story or it is going to be a short story, short novel क्या? But make it a short story. अगर आपको टाइम मिलता है 2 to 4 minutes, तो कितनी लंबी कहानी बनाएंगे आप?
छोटे से छोटा.
इतना छोटा भी नहीं कि बोलने का मौका ही नहीं मिले. मैम ने कहा शॉर्ट स्टोरी, बस एक लाइन बोल के चुप हो गया. हाँ, this is it. 2 to 4 minutes to create dialogues, to create a setting, to create characters, problems, solutions, ending. Right? And the prize will be given to the best story. Prizes for the best story, best presentation, ठीक है? Right?
Excuse me. Hello.
Yes, please tell me.
मैम लाइक हिंदी में जैसे मैम कविता और दोहे होता है, वो अलग अलग चीज होता है ना?
दोहा कहानी नहीं होती ना, दोहा तो 2 लाइन 4 लाइन का होता है। कविता पूरी कहानी हो सकती है, लेकिन दोहा तो 2 ही लाइन का होता है।
मैम मीन्स दोहे मतलब उसमें स्टोरी नहीं कहा जा सकता?
नहीं, वो शायरी हुई या दोहा हुआ, तो ये सब स्टोरी नहीं होता है ना। आप कोई किसी एक मुद्दे पे वो लोग बात कह जाते हैं।
मैम दोहा तो हर 2 से 3 लाइन में चेंज हो जाता है ना टॉपिक?
चेंज हो जाता है, इसीलिए गजल में भी वही होती है। गजल अगर 4 पैराग्राफ
लास्ट तक
स्टैंजा
सेम
की है
टॉपिक
तो
चलता है।
4 डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स पे होते हैं। अब यही फर्क हो जाता है गजल एंड नज्म में। नज्म स्टेज विथ वन टॉपिक, इट स्टार्ट्स विद द टॉपिक
वो तो
एंड
जहां
इट
से
एंड्स।
स्टार्ट किया जिस टॉपिक से उसी टॉपिक को
हाँ,
अंत
उसी
तक लेके
टॉपिक पे,
जाना है।
हाँ,
वर्ड्स
उसी
कितने
टॉपिक
भी
पे
उसमें
रहना।
आ जाएं, लास्ट
Yes,
एट
yes.
लास्ट हमें वही वर्ड सेंड करना है।
और नहीं, थीम शुड बी द सेम।
यस मैम, उसी पे डिपेंडेंट उसी पे रहना। जैसे स्टार्ट अगर हम फैन को किए तो फैन को ही
थीम
डिस्क्राइब करेंगे।
इट्स अ थीम, यस। All right guys, and we'll get to work. आपके क्लास में तो बहुत राइटर्स भी हैं। People write stories, people write कविताएं लिखते हैं आपके क्लास में। सिमज में बहुत सारे राइटर्स हैं यहाँ पर, क्रिएटिव राइटर्स तो बहुत है सिमज में। In your class also there are people who are writing. So I believe all of you are coming at 1 o'clock, isn't it? For this holy celebration, isn't it?
Yes,
yes ma'am. But 2 o'clock ma'am.
मैम फूल अपना